Lydia from Novelty, and today we are talking about books that make a great starter library. So, everybody probably has someone in their life who's starting a family or who has young kids, and they probably don't have enough books because a lot of people don't realize how important books are. And you do not want these young kids that you know growing up without the proper books to read, right? Like, am I right or not? So what I have here is a whole huge stack of great books that I recommend to give as a starter pack for a new library for children. And we will go first of all with Go Dogs Go. This book is one that my brother and I grew up reading all the time, so we grew up quoting it to each other, and people would be like, wait, what? And my brother actually gave it to me for Christmas in 2013, so that he said, I pray that someday your children love this book just as much as you and I did. Isn't that so precious? It's fun and whimsical, and it is good for kids learning how to read because it has a lot of simple words and big font. Like the Tawny Scrawny Lion. Guys, this one I read over and over and over again as a kid, and wow, it's like, I don't know if I've opened this copy of it. So it's about this lion that chases all these animals because he's always hungry. And he's always eating the animals, and the animals are like, what are we going to do because we're all getting eaten and this is not cool. So then these rabbits introduce him to carrot stew, and he turns out to really like carrot stew, so all the animals are saved. Ramona Knew What She Wanted. This book is so precious. I remember I probably cried about it as a kid because this dog, Ramona, is in the circus and she ends up getting lost. And that probably is what made me cry as a kid because it's so sad. Like, the door opens when she's back in the back of the circus truck at a stoplight, at a traffic light, and she slips out, and then the truck leaves and nobody knew what happened, and she has no clue where she is. But then she's adopted by this really sweet family, and it goes on from there. A King for Brass Cobweb. Guys, I talk about this book a lot because it's absolutely one of my fantastically favorite childhood books ever. It's about this animal kingdom, or this kingdom of animals, and they have a brass cobweb gate, and they're like, oh, but we have this kingdom, but we don't have a king, so they send the chipmunk out to find a king, and he runs into all these horrible things, like a fox that wants to eat him, and all these different troubles and travesties that he goes through, and then he ends up coming back. And he thinks he's a failure, but they're like, no, you're a victorious hero returning. And it has a cool ending at the end. So, because where else would the ending be? The Mitten. Have you all ever seen this book, this style of book where what they do? This is another one from my brother David. And oh, look at his handwriting. Is that not fantastic? He and I did this thing where we exchanged our favorite childhood books, which I think is the perfect gift ever. But anyways, over here in the corner, it tells you like a little sneak peek of what's going to happen on the next page. So it's kind of like foreshadowing it, but without words, which I think is such a neat way to do it. And what happens is this boy, his grandma makes him mittens, and she's like, but don't lose him. Whatever you do, don't lose him. And yeah, he loses one of them. And all these animals find it, and they climb inside of it. And first of all, a little mouse, and then like a rabbit comes along, and then this comes along, and in the end there's like a bear and like 10 other animals in it. So it's obviously not realistic at all, but so adorable and whimsical, and totally captured my imagination as a child. Still does capture my imagination. The Biggest Bear. This book made me love maple syrup because they eat maple syrup throughout the book. Look at those illustrations first of all. Is there anything better than a well-illustrated book? I'm pretty sure there's not much better than that, except maybe a hot latte, which this is my hot latte because I just got home from work and I brought it home. It is vanilla and white chocolate, and it's so good. Oh my goodness, yes, so good. Anyways, this one is about this boy. They by mistake, or they raise this bear, and then he ends up wrecking havoc around the farm, so they have to make him go away, and there's all these troubles with getting him to leave because he always comes back. And so finally they're like, we're going to have to kill him, but thankfully that does not happen, but you'd have to read it to find out what does happen. Make way for ducklings. guys, if you did not grow up with Robert McCloskey's books, then you should probably go back to your childhood and remedy that, because he has like Homer Price, Make Way for Ducklings, Blueberries and Sal, and they're such great stories. He has a very good, clear voice that's hilarious. Us kids still sometimes read his books to each other and laugh at them. They're really, really fun. And they just have really sweet stories too. So this one is about ducks that were born in New York City, I believe, and all the issues they go through trying to then have their own family and not get run over by all the traffic, etc., etc. And I have some more books, but I think we are finished with our time. So that's all for now, folks. Hopefully that gives you some great ideas of what books you can buy your friends when you need to give them a gift.